All right, are you tired of being stuck in the nice guy zone? Wondering if you're not getting the respect you deserve? This video anthology of my most popular simping videos exposes the subtle ways you might be turning her off and show you how to stop simping once and for all. Now, in the first video, we'll jump into some prime examples of simping and why it's a major attraction killer. In the next video, we'll look at why trying too hard to impress women backfires and how you can effortlessly switch up your game. And in the third video, we'll break down 5 embarrassing ways men simp and the simple fixes that'll have you walking taller, more confidently, and back in control. I'll explain what simping is. I know we don't like the word and it's really derogatory, but it's the one that people are searching out, so that's why I use it. Get ready to change the way women see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I help good men like you decode women so you can find, attract, and keep your keeper, or simply have better relationships with women. This short series will help you avoid users so you can attract a true keeper. Welcome to Just the Tip. I once knew a guy named Michael. And whenever he met a woman, he would pour his heart and soul into her and some other parts. He'd bring them out to expensive restaurants. He always made sure he looked his best. He'd be the perfect gentleman. He'd open doors for them, spend weeks getting to know them, send messages after a date to make sure that they got home safely. Yet, despite being what so many women say they want, he kept getting friend-zoned. Sometimes he would date them for weeks and spend hundreds of dollars on them, sometimes thousands. Yet, he wouldn't even get a kiss. Put simply, the women he was dating were unappreciative time wasters. He was getting his heart stomped on and going broke at the same time. A lot of guys can relate to this story, and you probably see a few traits in Michael that you can probably relate to. But can you see what his problem was? Here's a hint. Michael was making the women he was dating more important than himself. He was putting their needs above his own. It seems counterintuitive, but the harder you try to seduce a woman, the less women you'll be able to seduce. The more you try to make her happy, the less she respects you. Whereas, the less you invest in them, the more they'll try to win you over, the more they'll want you. And you may already know this, but the more desperate you are to try and find a partner, the more likely you'll find a toxic partner. This is why, to attract psychologically healthy women, you actually need to focus on yourself first. Take care of your own needs first. Because when you start appreciating yourself, things change very quickly. Women can sense that you're a man who doesn't take any crap. You repel toxic time wasters who just want attention or a free meal, or both. Then you start attracting emotionally stable women, women who appreciate you for being you. Always remember, you are number one. You are the prize, whether you're in a relationship or not. Okay, so what is simping? Well, simping is when a guy goes above and beyond, often sacrificing his own well-being because deep down inside, he feels he's not good enough. We're talking about excessive compliments, extravagant gifts, and an unbalanced focus on a woman's every whim. Now, we'll get into some examples in a minute. But ultimately, the difference between simping and chivalry or romantic generosity is about whether or not the man feels of equal or higher value than the woman. But here's the thing. Simping isn't the way to go if you want healthy relationships based on mutual respect. It's also a bad habit to get into online because, key point, what you do online, you take into the real world. Simping stems from insecurity and a lack of self-respect. Genuine connections are built on mutual respect, love, and value. Simping won't lay the foundation for a meaningful relationship and rarely gets you laid. And while it might seem appealing to shower a woman you're attracted to with attention or gifts, it interferes with building an authentic connection. Example. The excessive gift giver. A man spends his entire paycheck on expensive gifts for a woman he barely knows, hoping to impress her and win her affection. He showers her with lavish presents, even though she shows little to no interest or reciprocation. Have you ever been an excessive gift giver? Share your story. One major reason why women aren't attracted to men who simp is the lack of authenticity. Simping comes across as insecure, insincere, and manipulative. When a man changes his opinions to match hers with the hope or expectation of making her like him, It feels fake because it is fake. Emotionally healthy women value genuine connections, and when they sense a lack of authenticity or insecurity, it's a major turnoff. Example, the switch hitter. A man is interested in a woman who is passionate about environmental issues, so he begins to pretend he shares the same level of passion, even though he had little interest in it before. Whenever a topic related to the environment comes up, he eagerly agrees with her viewpoints, even if he doesn't fully understand or believe in them. Have you ever changed your opinion to match a woman's just to get her to try to like you? Let me know in the comments. You're not alone. Moreover, simping often causes an imbalance in the power dynamic. Key point, if you act like you don't deserve her, she feels like you don't deserve her. Women mirror your feelings about you, not your feelings about her. She hesitates because unconsciously she wonders what the heck is wrong with you to make you less worthy. What nasty thing do you know about you that she doesn't? Example, the constant admirer. A man follows an attractive woman on Instagram who posts sexy, provocative photos. He constantly likes and comments on her beauty with over-the-top compliments and adoration, often using pet names like babe, babe, or baby. Ooh. He becomes her virtual shadow, always present and ready to shower her with attention, even if she doesn't reciprocate. Hint, try to focus compliments on character, not looks. Key point, simping gives off the vibe that a man is not able to self-validate and instead is overly dependent on a woman's validation, willing to sacrifice his own needs and boundaries to please her, like a little boy who needs his mommy. Men need to feel useful and respected. Women need to feel cherished and desired. But a man's need for her validation makes a woman go into mother mode and not lover mode, and she loses attraction. Example, it's Winky. The drop everything for her. A woman he likes mentions she's been wanting to try a new restaurant in town. Without hesitation, he cancels his plans with friends and books a table at the restaurant, hoping to surprise her and win her affection. He does this sort of thing regularly, believing that being overly accommodating will make her see how much he cares for her. Have you ever dropped everything for a woman you were interested in, only to be rebuffed? Share your story. Simping behavior is often rooted in a lack of self-confidence. Women are attracted to men who display confidence and self-assuredness. When a man engages in simping, it shows a lack of confidence in his own worth and abilities. Confidence is an attractive quality, and women are drawn to men who are secure in themselves and their own value. Furthermore, women instinctively know simping leads to clinginess. When a man becomes overly dependent on a woman for his emotional well-being, it's draining and suffocating for her. Emotionally balanced women, key point, emotionally balanced women appreciate a healthy level of interdependence and space within a relationship. Constant attention and clinginess can push women away rather than draw them closer. Always leave them wanting more. Example, the emotional tampon. A man becomes the constant shoulder to cry on for a woman he's been longing for. He willingly listens to her problems, absorbs her emotional burdens, and provides unwavering support, even if it's about other men she's interested in dating. He's always there for her, hoping his kindness will eventually lead to a romantic relationship. I'm pretty sure some of you have been guilty of this one. What happened? Share your stories. Okay. Not only that, but simping often also involves sacrificing personal boundaries and disregarding your own needs. Women need men to have healthy boundaries and maintain their own sense of identity and self-care. When a man is willing to compromise his boundaries to an extreme extent, it raises red flags. She intuitively wonders what other values you'll compromise when your infatuation wears off. Will you cheat on her? Leave her? If you don't respect yourself, she won't either. Plus, respect precedes arousal. Example, the perpetual doormat. A man changes his entire schedule and life plans to accommodate a woman's every whim. He cancels his plans with friends, neglects his own hobbies, and always puts her desires first, even at the expense of his own well-being, even when she treats him like trash. Too many nice guys turn into doormats. Has this ever happened to you? Now, did you figure out the two ways to know if you're simping? Well, the first is feeling like you don't deserve her or have lower value than her. And the second way to know is if you allow her to disrespect or treat you poorly. In other words, you ignore red flags, crap test, and let her get away with bad behavior, either by trying to appease her or simply ignoring it. If that's you, you'll want to watch my videos on the one little word you must start using as soon as possible to stop being too nice. Links are coming up. Remember, you deserve someone who loves and respects you for who you are, but you have to like and respect yourself first. Key point, no one will respect you more than you do, so start behaving like you do. Soon you'll feel that way a little more. These examples showcase different facets of simping behavior, highlighting the excessive attention, sacrifice, and unbalanced dynamics that can occur. Let's look at some social media examples of what simping is, and then we'll look at some real life examples. So here are some embarrassing ways that men simp on social media, and it's way too out of hand. Liking every post that she puts up on Instagram or TikTok and using lots of emojis like hot, drooling, love struck eyes, or is this too much? Exaggerated compliments on her appearance. You're so hot. Sorry, don't do that. Inappropriate declarations of love or admiration. Marry me, Ashley. And you don't even know her in real life. Even if you did, that's still simping, but we'll get to that. Acting like her boyfriend when you don't even know her, like using pet names or declaring date nights or invites, sending long, sappy messages that beg for attention. How about this one? Defending her anti-masculine, pro-feminism, man-bashing posts. Whether you're posting publicly in her comments or trying to slip in to her DMs, social media simping is an instant turnoff. And she may even reply with a thanks, but guaranteed she has little to no respect for you. Now, that's not to say that complimenting is always a bad move. Indeed, complimenting can be a good move, but it's when and how you compliment that makes the difference. And I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But first, let's look at the embarrassing ways men simp in real life. And some of you might be surprised by some of these because you're probably doing them and not even realizing. Embarrassing ways men simp in real life include multiple compliments on her appearance in rapid succession, especially in rapid succession. Double or triple texting her when she hasn't even replied to your first text. Being overtly available anytime she wants. If you are starting to see her, publicly marking your territory. This translates to insecure, not proud of. Apologizing when you shouldn't. Definitely watch my video on how not to simp your stories. I'll put a link at the end. Buying her gifts when you're not her boyfriend. Maybe you're just dating. How about this one? Being her emotional tampon when she complains about her boyfriend. There you are sitting on the sidelines orbiting, hoping to get something. Meanwhile, she's just using you. Essentially, simping in real life is when you put her values and needs above your own in every way. But Anna, why is that such a turnoff to women? You'd think they'd like that. No, this is why it's counterintuitive. Simping is a major turnoff because a high-value woman needs to know that you have high-value-oriented standards, not low, shallow-oriented standards. Key point. If everything she does is perfect in your eyes, she knows you are not really seeing the true her. You love the idea of her and the fantasy you've made up in your mind about her. This brings us to the law of real love, which I just made up. So the law of real love is you can only really love someone else, this other person, if you can see and appreciate, know and understand that they have latent flaws. What are latent flaws? They are the hidden flaws that are not visible on social media or even visually in person. And the law of real love means that you need to be able to not only see those flaws, but she needs to know that you see those flaws. And no, simping is not a flaw that she's going to learn to love because it goes against the law of true love. So how do you show interest without it being a turnoff? Let's look at what simping isn't. Generally, it's not simping. You're more safe if you focus on character-related comments and or compliments. Why? Because this actually shows you have standards, high standards, value-oriented standards beyond the physical. Limit compliments to 1 per interaction maximum. Hint, interaction means she's interacting, she's engaging. If she's not legitimately reciprocating and engaging, stop. You're only feeding her ego. And generalize instead of personalize. Example, social media. You're the kind of woman I would like to get to know in real life. Kind of, not personally, not her, but the kind of. I like some of your qualities. Hope to meet someone in real life who has some of these qualities. Instead of, you're the person for me. Marry me. When can I meet you? Please answer my email. That's simping. In real life, this might look like, so far, you seem like the kind of woman I'd like to get to know better, versus I've been looking for you all my life. Simping. And in order for you to have high standards, to be able to attract a high value woman, you have to have self-esteem. If you don't have high self-esteem, that's when you slip into simping, and you'll never slip into her. Now, what about simping versus being a gentleman? So again, simping comes from a place of feeling low value, whereas chivalry and true gentlemanly behaviors come from a place of feeling high value. And the main difference is intention. When you are in the mindset of vetting her, not getting her, you're going to react and respond in a whole different way. And the chivalrous things you do, the kind and thoughtful and courteous things you do, won't come across as simping, even if some of those actions are similar to some of the simping things we've talked about. In other words, chivalry can include opening doors for her, not purposefully ignoring her texts for days if you're not truly busy, complimenting her, particularly on her positive character traits. Remember, that shows her you have standards and what those standards are that are important to you. Letting her borrow your sweatshirt when she's cold. Women are usually colder than men, unless they have a lot of extra insulation. And yes, you can even tell her she's beautiful, but it's not to get her validation, attention, or approval. In other words, you're courteous and thoughtful because that's the kind of man you are. And as importantly, she deserves it and reciprocates attention, compliments, etc. Not because you want something from her or secretly want to win her approval. So some of you are wondering, like, oh man, did I simp in Anna's comments? Yes, some of you have, but you didn't know any better. And I appreciate your compliments, except the ones where you give me pet names. That's something you should save for your someone special when you actually get her, when she actually deserves you. While it's safe generally to simp on my page, it's not a good idea for you to do it. Find other ways to write a comment because it's just a bad habit to get into. So how do you stop simping? And then how do you compliment a woman without simping? Mindset. Here's the key. You have to have high standards. You have to have any standards, but better if you have higher standards. Then you have to actively and openly vet for them. Just because she's pretty or hot should not be your only standard. That's shallow. Your mindset must be, she has character flaws. We all do. She has character flaws. What are they? And then you want to ask yourself continuously as you're getting to know her, what are her character flaws? Does she still qualify for me? What other character flaws does she have? Does she still qualify for me? Does she meet my standards? That's the mindset you must have. And that's not to say you're going to point out her flaws to be mean or cruel, but you're certainly going to be aware of them. And sometimes, yes, you are going to call her out on them. With this mindset, she will know that she is under review for you, which means she knows you have high standards. What do high value women need from a man? She needs to know that he has high standards. This means that if she eventually does capture you, your heart, your attention, your love, your care, then she deserves you and she knows you deserve her. And if you need some help putting your needs first for a change, so psychologically healthy women start appreciating you, paying attention to you, and chasing you, you want to get my Wake Up to Love program. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if you don't change. So, do you now understand the difference between being a sincere nice guy with confidence and one without? I hope so. If, after watching these videos, you realize you've got some work to do on yourself, like we all do, and especially your self-esteem, well, the best thing you can do is get my Wake Up to Love program and do the work. It won't help if you don't do the work. It's definitely not easy, but if you do the work, you will become a confident and high-value man women can't get enough of, and you are truly proud of. And I'm so confident my program will help you that you get access to the whole thing for up to 2 months, and if you don't like it for any reason, you can get a full refund. So do yourself a favor and get my program today. There's no better time for you to start. You won't regret it, I promise. You are worthy. You got this. I believe in you. God bless. And this is my grandmother's. And yes,